Welcome back, groovy people. So today we're going to dive into Wale's new project, Everything Is a Lie. I recently did a full reaction on my Patreon, so definitely check that out if you haven't. The link will be in the description. But I was really excited to listen to this project, especially being from the DMV myself and being a fan of Wale since I was in middle school. But if you're new here, my name is Zipporah and I do all things music. I do reactions, commentary, video essays, and all things of the sort. But if you like that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also check out my other videos as well. Now, I know a lot of people have their own reservations and feelings about Wale, which I totally understand, but I do want to give this man his flowers. He is one of the few rappers to dominate the R&B space and do it consistently, so I do feel like at the end of the day, we still got to give this man his flowers. But yeah, let's dive into the album. So Everything Is a Lot. It's pretty much in the title. This album is about Wale really unpacking a lot of different topics. He talks about mental health. He talks about love. He talks about relationships, self-doubt, the highs and lows of success, and just trying to stay grounded while the world pretty much pulls him from different directions. It's a very personal album and very poetic, but it's also very reflective at the same time and a little chaotic based on some of the topics that he touches on. This album is 14 tracks long, so let's get into the pros of the album. For one, I feel like the production is top tier. I love the use of a lot of the black samples. He had Cut Close in the beginning. There was Go Opale's Closer. There was the Back to Life sample. I love all of the use of the samples. And then there was also the combination of the soulful textures. And then he also had blends of the Afrobeats fusion and just poetic instrumentation. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the album. I think another thing he did well was the storytelling. So he was very descriptive. He provided very vivid details about the different situations, especially when he talked about relationship issues. And he just got very personal. I also love the cultural references. I feel like they added a lot of depth, especially him using a lot of DMV slang terms. So he talked about losing a lot of his friends to drug issues. And in the DMV, we do have a very large opioid addiction and drug problem, especially with PCP specifically, but he touched on his Nigerian roots and he was just emotionally honest. Another thing I appreciated about this project was the features, specifically Leon Thomas and Andre Day. I feel like they were perfect for this album and really elevated the project for their particular tracks. And then Wale's flow, I feel like, is also still very good. He has a lot of fun on this project, but then he's also spitting bars. So I love the duality. Now going into the cons. My major issue with this project is I feel like the themes are very repetitive. With a lot of Wale's projects, I feel like the topic is pretty much the same. It's either heartbreak or just personal issues that he might be dealing with, but I feel like he hasn't really stepped out of his comfort zone completely and tackled something different compared to his peers. Even on this album, I feel like there was a lot of repetitive themes around just the heartbreak, addiction, and loneliness. So I thought when listening to this album that we'd see a growth from beginning to end, but it was pretty chaotic. It was like a back and forth between the same topics, in my personal opinion. There were also some songs on this project that I personally didn't like or that I feel like didn't really fit with the album. Even some of the Afrobeats tracks, and I am a huge fan of Afrobeats, but I just feel like some of the transitions weren't as smooth. I feel like there's also a lack of cohesion with this album, just conceptually. Like I stated before, it was a lot of back and forth. I feel like it didn't really tell a full story. We were getting somewhere, and I feel like when we got to the middle portion of the album, that's where things just started to go back and forth, and the story kind of lost the plot. It was just kind of all over the place for me. It doesn't feel like a fully structured narrative. Another issue I had was that some of the tracks also felt like they were dragging. There could have been a little more effort to some of the tracks, specifically tracks like Michael Fredo and Corner Bottles. Now, some of my favorite tracks are Watching Us, Belly, Fly Away, Big Head, and YSF. I think the production on all of these tracks was done very well, and the storytelling and bars were executed very well. I feel like they capture everything Wale does best with his lyricism, the cultural depth, the rhythm, and even the emotional depth. Overall, sonically, I think it's a very solid project. Definitely a lot of songs that have a lot of replay value and you can just listen to over and over again. So I'm gonna give Everything Is a Lot a 7 out of 10 rating. The highs are really high, there's beautiful production and strong writing even at times, and Wale is still giving us that personal content, but the project just struggles with cohesion and it feels emotionally repetitive at times. It's still a strong project, don't get me wrong. For his next project, I would love for Wale to step out of his comfort zone and just try something different outside of the typical love and relationship themes that he usually does. I feel like that's his safe space, and I also feel like that's why a lot of people don't like to place him up top with Cole, Drake, and Kendrick compared to their bodies of work, they're always trying something different, trying something new, really trying to hone in on their craft and just be different overall. But let me know what you guys think of the album down below. Do you guys agree with my rating? What are some of your favorite tracks? I'd love to have a discussion on what you guys think. But thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.
Room full of beautiful women, but I'm on mine. Room full of women and they notice me. Now all they wanna listen to is jealousy.